Namaskaram, Namaskaram, Namaskaram. We have a universal citizen, servant of humanitarian, spiritual guru, servant of the nation, servant of maybe Loka Samasta Sugana Bhavantu. The whole world is one. A yogi, a interfaith minister. We had recently a huge program connecting a true international organizer with plenty of people connecting to the whole world across religion, across different colors, creed, faith, believe or no believe, politics, economics, business, everything was inside. He is the steering committee member of the UN Circle of United Religious Initiatives, Secretary General for the Global Council of Hindu Leaders, Secretary for the committee, all that different. I have sent to all of you the link on the Facebook where the descriptions can be read. But one is not written there is, he is my brother from Cochin, Tripunithara, Kerala. We connect in many ways. So, Guruji Dilip Kumar Tangappan, maybe we need to know in short your travel from Maharaja's College to or through Maharaja's College up to UN. Maybe a brief. I know it's a long story because each discipline, each person interaction with them, like Mahagurus, like Bhuva and all, is we will have to cover pages by pages, hours by hour. But maybe a very short. Milestones. No. Mile diamonds. Stones are very bad. Maybe lot of mile diamonds in your life, which gave you a crystal marking in your life. So pranams and welcome to this.
Namaste everyone. It's my great pleasure and honor to join with all of you. I want to say thank you to Dr. T.P. Sesikumarji, my brother. Here I am standing, it's my brother. So, about my life, that is very interesting. Even for me, I just think what happened in my childhood, what happened in my parents' life, what happened in my relatives' life, friends' life. I just connect all this. In a nutshell, I'll bring little points. My father is from an Orthodox family. They are one of the families converted to Christianity in AD 52. And my mother's side is a Hindu families. And we have monks in our mother's side and bishops in my father's side. So when I grew up, I used to go everywhere. And even though my father was Christian, he never believed in Bible. He was a strong communist and he was suspended from the BSNL department during the emergency time. He talked against Indira Gandhi. He was suspended and he became a homeo doctor. That's the story. My mother's side, even though she was a Hindu, but she by heart about Bible. like other scriptures. And actually, she's my first guru. Of course, everybody say mother is the first guru. More than that, she taught me all the philosophies and stories from childhood. I had a huge collection of different types of children's books, over 1,000 books. I used to read a lot. Then I gave those books to Sashrada Mission when I left in India. So from my family, I'll say when they had the love marriage, they had really hard time because 60 years back, people treat as a crime. They cannot accept each other from the both families. And they both kicked out from the family and they survived because of their education. Mother became a teacher in a government school of state, Kerala state. Father became in the BSNL. Those days they won't call BSNL, telephone department. That's it. Then I never met any of my relatives until 1979. I don't know I have relatives because we used to live in different places, like 100 kilometers from my parents' place. So for me, our neighbors are my families. So we work with the neighbors as a real family. Especially one of the older lady, she took care of me very well, and one church priest father used to take care of me. And there's a story about my birth. My brother and sister, they are 8 and 10 years apart from me. I'm an accidental child. So father told my mother, don't have third child because very hard to handle. So many children. Yeah. So they had like a low income those days. And teachers may get 150 rupees those days. Yeah. And father maybe 1,000. Now they all have good salaries. Those days very hard. So mother had this passion, oh, I'm getting a child after 8 years. I want to keep the child. They had argument. And mother talked to few saints and they said, don't kill the child, he's going to be a yogi. That's the story I heard from my mother. Anyway, I bought. I'm glad I bought. Yeah. I went to Catholic school from age of 1.5. Mother cannot handle me because she has to go to work. So she dropped me to the nursery school when I was 1.5. So I was an old student for 3.5 years in the nursery class. So when I went to the first grade, I know all the studies in the first grade. Because I used to watch from the next door. I was active in sports and extracurricular activities. Then moved to SRV High School in Kochi. That 1.5 years I spent there. I joined in the Boy Scout. That's 1.5 years I was there. Then moved to Government Boys School in Tripura. There I became active in the sports and games, very active, and started representing school for the district level sports and games. Especially Kho-Kho was one of my favorite games. Then I went to state level for certification every year. In 8th grade, I became part of the NCC, got the A grade certificate and all that stuff, and joined in Cochin College for 4 years. There I made a Kho-Kho team. That's the part I made boss be active with my group, and we made a team. And we won the university level, and I became the member of the university team, go for varsity level. And plus active in NCC, went to a lot of national camps. So these are the things actually made me a strong personality in interfaith more than my parents' life, because I didn't feel a lot of interaction from my family members, like relatives. We never care about the religion. When we meet people, we think about a friendship. We never think about religion. So I had that advantage. Otherwise, I may stuck with one religion, or I may hate some other religious people. I didn't get that feeling. And look at the Kerala, we never had that many big problems, like a different conflict between religious groups. And I have Jewish friends, I had Sikh friends, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, different types of Christians. So I had advantage actually. Then this national camps in NCC, it is more interesting because we won't speak Hindi. Hindi is not our language at all. Even though it's a national language, we won't care about Hindi. We care about our language. Yeah. Then we get this idea, we had to study a little Hindi because we had to communicate. But even I didn't speak Hindi. I can understand. I can read and write, But there's a friendship when you meet people, that is a facial expression. And the music, dance, acting, like different extracurricular talents, that was the best part I enjoyed. And slowly start learning English. It took a long way for me because when you go for sports, you never attend class. Every day you are out, and you miss class and you cannot spend that much money for tuition. Even I don't like going to a tuition. I like listening something, go to the exam and write. That's the way I used to do. Anyway, then I moved, after my CE certification in the NCC, I moved to Maharajas College. Earlier I wanted to join Maharajas College because of Bosar. I joined in this college to bring the team, that was a beautiful time. In Maharajas, I became more active in the arts, dance, music, and all that stuff. And as one of the popular college in Kerala, my father studied there, my sister studied there. Even though I was in SRV school, I used to go to the Maharajas College every day and visit my sister's friends. So I had this attachment to that college. Even I go to Cochin College, I take a boat to other side and come to Maharajas, meet my friends. I used to stay there. Then after my degree, during the last year, we got the third place in dance. We chose our group dance as a Bhangra from Punjabi dance. It was a beautiful dance. So a lot of the students, they don't know how to dance, so we had to teach our classmates, ladies and gents, and we were mixed very well because there's a conflict. We don't want to touch females in the dance. And we had to make everyone to aware this is an art form. It's not anything else. So when you go other states, parents don't like to send their daughters for this program. So I had to go to everybody's house, talk with their parents and make sure they are comfortable. So that was my job. So when they know I am going, they have this trust. So I am like a caretaker for all the girls in our class. So anyway, we got so many prizes. Then after my college, I became the sports coach for Kho-Kho, Kabaddi and some other games. That went long way. Within that time, I had this yoga practice with sports. When I was in 4th grade, I became the school team captain. So I added yoga asanas as part of the training programs. So I had to teach my colleagues. That's why I became a teacher when I was 10 years old. But I never thought yoga became a profession. Yeah. In those days, nobody cared about yoga. It's not a popular stuff. Yeah. They think some people have a mental problem, so they go for yoga. That's the way people used to think. And later part, I was learning different types of alternative medicine. When my father became a homeo doctor, he took a special permission from the government of India to practice homeo and other alternative medicines for weekends. So he used to take patients, those who are really sick in cancer. The doctors say, oh, you may live 3 months or 4 months, there's another way to save you. Those people, he take it and he treat them, and within 2 years they all saved. So I had to make medicine for him. So I used to practice weekends with him. My mom used to have, and we made plans and all this stuff. So I had this habit to learning things. Then we create a lot of international programs for alternative medicines in Cochin City. Still, I didn't think I became a yogi. You know? But somehow I meet all the monks, then I start traveling all over India, end up in different ashrams and end up in Himalayas. Living there in the caves, still I am not happy about the way what I am doing. The sadhanas are good, but I want to go to the community. So I grew up with the community from my very early childhood. I enjoy that part. And when you interact with the different types of activities, so very hard to sit in a cave. That I understood about my own life. Especially when I worked for the Total Literacy Campaign in Kerala, I learned something from people's life. I used to go to everybody's house and talk with them. Even each member I used to talk in the Punatara municipality. I visited every single house. That's 3 years work, and Ernakulam district was the first guinea pig district to become the 100% literacy. I was part of it. And at one house I went, the house made of clay and coconut leaves, and it's very small. And one woman and 2 children. Husband already left the place. When I went to talk to her, I didn't see her, and I saw 2 children. One is very little, and one is maybe 4 years. I'm seeing the younger one eating pieces of the other one. I cannot take it that far. This is a situation about India. That made me really thinking about the life of our people. Then I made a decision: never waste food. Food is precious, and never waste food. If I don't want to eat too much, I never put in my plate. Whatever I want to eat, I keep it. Then I made a decision: eat meals twice in a day. That's it. That's where I made it. And I cut down all the expenses in my personal life. Then we are moving like an international Gurukulam, that's why I made the name. Actually, that name came from Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yedi, who was a popular writer and psychologist, is a spiritual guru popular in Kerala Manorama newspaper, and very hard to read his Malayalam, very tough Malayalam, but I used to enjoy his writings. Then he gave that name. I said, okay, I'll use it. So I didn't register it. I went to the municipality. They said, you don't need any registration, you just do it. So I did. Then I became a trainer at the Shivananda Yoga Ashram in Trivandrum, teach all the yoga teachers. Then came to New York. That was in 99. I met Swami Bua when I was little. Barely I remember his face. Then when I got the visa, I visited Satya Sai Baba. He said, when you go to New York, meet Swami Bua. So I came here, I was looking for Swami Bua. There's no email, phone number, nothing about him. No website either. Those days, everybody is making big yoga schools, patents, making money out of it. But I found him in a temple, teaching a regular class as a real yogi. Then he asked me, I touched his feet. Then he asked, where are you coming from? I said, from India. And where? In Kerala. Where? To Punatra. Then he just looked at my face and said, are you the son of Dr. Tangappan and Kanagama teacher? Because he remembered a birthmark on my face. That is my right side. This is my beauty spot. So nobody can deny that one. And when I came here, somebody asked me to, can you do a surgery and take it off? I said, no. This is my birthmark. It's already announced before my birth. I'm not going to take that one. I am proud of that. Then we became big buddies, and he brought me to the UN. And in 2000, there was a big inter-religious conference at the UN. That's the first big one happened. That made a movement to create the Interfaith Harmony Week, World Interfaith Harmony Week. Babaji was one of the prominent leaders for that movement. He talked with King Abdullah, and it happened. And some people ask me, what is your mission? I said, I want more interfaith movements that's necessary. It's bothering me, the issue between India and Pakistan in Kashmir. And I know both parties are making mistakes in different ways. And we know the religious dogmas, and actually regular people are suffering. That's a feeling I felt. Okay, we love Krishna, Rama, whatever gods we have, but they never ask us to go and fight with others. Same thing, I don't promote when people do conversion. I don't believe in that part at all. People have to feel which God they have to believe or practice. But when you practice the spirituality, you end up without any God. That's how it's going to happen. So better to learn all the history, different teachings, but you have to focus the development of your personal life more than anything else. A healthy body, a healthy mind, a healthy soul, that's the real spirituality, and we have to take care of our people around us. So like Mother Teresa, when I met her, I asked a question, what is the message for me to practice? So she said, we have a good smile, just continue to smile, that will change the world. I just laughed, That's a beauty. A lady came from another country and serving our people. That's a divine nature. So we had to accept those type of people. Even I'm a little upset about our new government. Pope Francis want to visit India, they don't allow them. That's not good. Let them come and be part of it. Especially Pope Francis love Indian people and Indian culture. So why we had to stop people to come? India, in the history, India welcome everybody. That's supposed to be the, So we create the borders, not only India, all other nations too. They create the borders and they don't interact with other people. They try to avoid other groups. That's not good. The human race, if God is real, we all are part of the family, are the children of God. So we need a new style of education to take care of people around the globe. I'm proud that India have a philosophy that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I'm proud of it. But in the practice, so many times we make mistakes. So when you read newspaper these last 10 years, I see rape cases going very high. Even a 1-month child cannot survive. What is this? People like me go to other countries, talk about the value and culture of India. It's very shameful for us to face this situation. I'm reading so many cases. You are taking an iron rod, putting in the genital area for a woman and killing the rape the woman and killing. This is not Indian culture. The corruption is growing very fast. Doesn't matter which body. That's not Indian culture. So, what is the difference between the kings and the political leaders? They all are coming to the same step. So, we have to create a new era to educating younger generation how to treat people. Somehow, we are still in a dark age. India has the best wisdom more than anyone's in the world. But somehow we are not aware of what the value of Indian culture, the philosophy, and the values, or somebody don't want that to happen. So we have to choose what we want. We have to get every single child in India to learn the value of life. It is very important. Just keep the religion in the side. Keep the politics in the side. The value of life. Even Corona time we had the best part, safety in the beginning. Now is going spread all over. And their world is suffering because of the Corona. We don't know if it's really made by somebody or bats came with the coronavirus. All suspicious things. And even they don't want to promote the natural resources, like natural way of medicines. They just avoid. It's not correct. So that part also we have to think about. The food is the medicine, water is the medicine, thoughts are the medicine. We had to promote natural way of lifestyle. And when people became a simple way of living style or humble lifestyle, that itself changed this pollution. When think about how much we eat. If we eat 3 big meals and 3 times snacks, itself is a lot of pollution for the body and the mind, the environment. So reduce it. So last 12, 13 years I eat 1 meal a day. That's only bad habit I keep still. That's one chai in the morning. That's my habit from Kerala. I enjoy that part, but still I can stop it anytime. I keep it, the memory of my Kerala life. So overall, we are trying to bring people from different faith and culture from different countries. In 2015, we made the International Day of Yoga. We got real support from the Prime Minister Modi. Before we announced at the Indian Consulate in 2007 and mobilized in different countries. I travel because of Swami, who asked me to meet all the people. But he said one thing, even Yoga Day can make a mess in yoga field. That is happening now. People drink beer and announce beer yoga, naked different things. We don't want to see this. We want to see a real beautiful yoga practitioners. And there's no Yama and Niyama, that's all God. So in my school, we keep it like a 12 years training program. They have to be part of the group. They practice and teach, not a simple certification course. We kept the traditional style. So overall, we have beautiful moments, interfaith gatherings, yoga events, cultural programs, UN agendas related programs, peace. A mix of a lot of stuff going on. And well, your community became part of the UN now. And we are trying to build up in different ways. So I know going and arguing with people is not going to make a difference. It's better inclusion. Bring them to our table. Let them experience. Have a food time or a chai time. Interact with the people. That a slow process is needed. And it's very hard to change dogmatic religious people or political groups or a business group. So we had to put extra work on those people, and they are ignored actually. The limit, we had to understand that part. We had to educate.
In your view, which country could go in extra speed in making interfaith community faster, totally inclusive for a better harmonious life? Among
I
all the
think
countries, which country could be the
India,
easiest?
India is the best one. Because India had this experience more than anyone else. When you look at the history of America, the torture happened
But
US and it.
but if you look at it, there are a lot of incentives given for interfaith churches, lot of land is given by government in most of the cities for interfaith activity, but we don't see that in India at all.
That is true. You see, there's a major conflict in India is the Muslim community and the Hindu community. That's a conflict.
Now, is it because more of political than the religious activity? Is it not
Politically,
religion is being handled by politics and it has worsened the situation?
it is. Politicians should serve the community, not enter in the religious part.
But
Not
then,
supposed to.
but then we had people like Mahatma Gandhi himself felt that we cannot partition both religion and politics. We had Mahatma Gandhi meeting all the religious leaders. We know that he came to meet Srinarayana Guru in Kerala. And the argument itself is wide open, saying that what is religion and what is life and what is politics. Probably Narayana Guru gave a better lecture to Mahatma Gandhi, but he couldn't accept it and take it that point of time.
It is very, very hard. Look, spiritual education in Kerala is very high. That I see that. Even look at the natural medical treatment, like Ayurveda, Siddha, all from the southern part, their wisdom is very high. And because maybe we didn't had a lot of invasions and fighting each other, so they had this culture, celebrative culture. And when you look at the northern part, and Punjab, Pakistan, always there's a problem.
But then if you look at the traditional Raja roles, all of them had advisors who are all rishis, they're all gurus because they went under the leadership of Raja but with the advice of spiritual leaders.
Correct.
Whereas today we see spiritual leaders themselves are involving too much into politics, or maybe politicians involved too much into religious practices.
So they have deals.
Yeah. Okay. Now let I'm sure all of us keep proud of telling that India is great. We have like great message to the world, but we, as you said, it is shame on most of the activities which are happening around. When we travel outside, we know that how people look at India. It's not that great as we bold ourselves. In this context, how could be or what can be done to make a role change? What message we have for the youth to understand what India needs, or probably redefine it for your purpose because you represent international community. What internationally India can contribute towards making this happen? The end of these
Yeah.
discussions, what we plan to do is to have some action item where we have team of people who work across the states, across the districts. Probably we can have some sort of an activity which really work, so that we take this message to the next generation. I'm sure we are not able to correct what happened to the previous generation, but let us look forward for the youth. So in that context, what can be those lessons?
So this is my vision, to interact different NGOs or like-minded people come together, have an international exchanging programs, teachings, dialogues like these meetings. So children should, I think we have around 45% of the citizen or youth in India. Am I correct? And
35.
if they can get the message from us, the value of life, how should be, get the teachings, within 20 years, India will be different. It will be different.
I remember when I was there in Columbus, school rooms were opened like a science exhibition, different halls for different religions,
Right.
and it is being taught. But we have schools in India where only one faith, the second faith can't even have their uniforms. Probably you cannot even display. There are places where you cannot even put a sandalwood paste on your forehead. There are schools where you cannot put your parda. There are schools where you cannot have your cross. So there are a lot of conflicts. Can we have, or when we can have such a system where everybody learns about other religion? And then do we have at least one day as an exhibition where maybe leaders will educate them? Or can we have some mobile teaching community which goes across different schools and then teach them, so that next generation understand we are the preachers of different religion, but still we move together across. That's what you remember when the last time when we met world religion leader, I was mentioning that can we have a white cross like a red cross,
Right.
who speaks of different religions at different places. At least different religion to schools where we have a white cross, faith system propagators with all that religious faith, religious books. Can we have library itself in schools with all the different religious books in one shelf?
So I'm thinking about to have a project. If we all are agree and easy to promote, we can have a book with all the religious major teachings for persons to live in. Live in. I don't follow. Live in the value of the humanity and synchronizing with the values from human rights. Altogether, we can have a system. We can have a training program. We can plan things. Especially in the part of the UN, we can bring people, those who work in that field, and we can bring people from other different countries. Even we can do online programs. We can visit other countries and spend camp. And we can add music, dance, art, because when children get more involved in the extracurricular activity, they will develop better than spending time in the political dramas and fighting issues.
I remember the Universal Unitarian Church had no Bible, but they had a book which contains lectures by Mahatma Gandhi, which contains lecture from Tagore, which contains quotes from Quran, Bible, Bhagavad Gita, all of them in one single book. And I was in that church almost 6 months. That is where I taught my Bhagavad Gita in America. The church is open and I was part of the Sunday service where the priest and me were sharing the stage together. So I'm sure if, as just you mentioned, if you could have such a forum where at least a few youth can be trained,
Right.
and with your certification, I'm sure we will develop a brigade of these white brigades or maybe white cross brigades, whether UN interfaith, the religion of the parliament takes it or not. Let us start a begin, and then probably we could wrap them inside and then see how does it go as an immediate action item from us, because this is the right time. This is the time when people are at now we are into digital world and youth are looking for some extra activity, learning different scriptures at small bits and pieces probably.
Yes, that because we are starting the Bhagavad Gita class from August 1st onwards.
Yeah.
It is going to be that class. We can bring other faith leaders to train, and we have a seminary in New York.
Yeah.
That's all also we can incorporate. Or if you want to start an international group, that's also possible. You know, making an organization is not a big deal. Maintaining is the main thing. So we need volunteers to be part of. Especially parents are involved with the students, their children, and that will make big difference. Otherwise, only children want to learn, parents will block it. That won't work out. It should be a family need, you know. And let them practice whatever they want to practice. But only thing is we don't want to insult other religious groups, the cultural groups. So
The-
they all have religious.
we should have the patience to listen to the other views, number one. Second one, we should have a heart to accept everything in the garden is not orange or apple. We can have multiple fruits, right? Always variety could be good. Yeah. So generally what happens in this, what India needs is up to 8 o'clock generally ask, or my dialogue continues, and then we open up to others who are participating to ask questions. So I guess, I'm sure there will be a lot of people who want to ask a lot of questions in this. So we open for others to ask, interact with Guruji Dilipji for his views on what India can do probably for the whole world, and what we have to make our brigade ready for making it happen outside, as just now we finished discussing. Probably yes, Dr. Shuchita has shown the hand. Probably yes. Welcome.
I was asking you a question. When you come across international people around, what definitely the newspapers are pointing out the bad things very badly about India. You are talking about the rapes and the crime rates and everything. We know we all are facing that cultural snag, whatever we call. How can we overcome this media who is projecting on negativity? We should find a way out. There are 99 people who are working like you, like Dr. TPS, or somebody who is our part, who are protecting our cultural heritage. We all respect each other. But then has become a fad, it has become a fashion to show that we are Indians, but we are so liberal that we can insult our own gods, or we can listen to any extremity. How can we as individuals, as humans, can control this idea? I'm not saying I'm the warrior for my religion, no. But how should we politely, humbly convey other people? Because you come across so many people around, you know how to tackle people. I want to learn that.
Okay, this is a way to take it. India has different types of religions and cultures, more than any other country. And India is the only one country invaded for years, back to back. People come and steal things and leave and empty it. So that is one drawback we had. And even our people betrayed our people. That's why other people came and took over the country. Okay. So all are the backgrounds. And people have this notions, oh, India is a poor country. Children with running nose. That's the way our people make money out of it. That's another story. But philosophically, nobody can beat Indian philosophy. That is 100% I stand with that point. And all the media is going to put India down. Definitely. Let everyone to make India down 100%. Will stand up. I want to look at that part. Okay, other people are insulting us. They are making story against us, this and that. Still, when you look at any Indian ruling class, they are doing corruption. I don't want to hide that part. That is not the right thing, So I'll stand for that. As an Indian, I still keep Indian passport. I love my country. I keep the Indian passport. And I don't want to disturb anybody on my culture.
There is a great Malayalam song, sloka which says, വണികീശരെത്ര പേരോ കടന്നിവിടെയുള്ള ധനം കവർന്നു. Lot of business people came, invaders came, they took all the jewels and monies from India. It is as good as from the sea the sun takes water. What will happen after that? It will get purified. Again it will downpour here only. And even if the sun is evaporating the seawater every day, the level of the seawater never came down. So we must understand, if anybody takes anything, lot of people travel to Europe, lot of people travel to Gulf. See, 1970, the Gulf country got independence. We made Gulf like a paradise of business. But we are not able to make 600 acres of land like Singapore. There are people who are rich enough, give them 600 acres of land, square kilometers of land, they will make another 2-3 Singapores in India. But what is lacking is our political system is not allowing people to grow.
Correct.
So that is what I think. We keep on blaming, many people keep blaming others. I am sure media is with the money only. I remember when I conducted 1400 children one program in Ravindra Bharati, 1400 BTech people, half day session. 1,40,000 rupees was collected as contributions from the children. 100 rupees each is 1,200, no, almost 1.2 lakhs. 20,000 was given rent. Newspaper fellow came, give us 1,000 rupees each, we will put it in tomorrow's newspaper. I said, no single penny will be paid for you to advertise my program. Here every newspaper fellow for a 1 page by 1 page or 10 centimeter, you have to pay money. So whoever pays, they will get benefit. So every political party uses, it is not one party, every political party uses media. Whoever pays more, whoever gives them more, I am sure they advertise. So as Dilip ji said, we should not find fault. It has become a business. Everything has become business.
No, sir, but I want to ask one question as an individual. Sometimes sedation is something which is not a legal, legally we cannot punish sedation. But we know, if somebody stands up, says, I will not say Jangan Man because I am so and so. Even I can speak like that. So there should be a social binding or a cultural binding which used to be there, which used to stop people from doing the uncertain things. But getting scolded by elders should be a part of our culture. The elder can say anything to you, but you have the patience to listen to it. But this is, we are lacking. I want people who, parents, मेरा जो आपसे सुझाव है, you are so good at conveying things. People should come across with their own children, and they should start teaching your own learnings to their children. That's the way you should convey it.
I'll say this way: hitting a child is not a good thing. And having a dialogue with the child and educate them, that's the focus we had to use it. And in America, if you touch a child, you're never able to see a child, you'll end up in the jail. In India, you see how many children are beaten by parents. That's not good. You know, you scold with love and care, that's different. So we have this, that can be because of the past lifestyle from parents or grandparents or our cultural style. If something is not good for the development for a human being, we have to delete from our life. We have to upgrade. That's a part we have to work on it. Outdated items should be deleted and upgrade ourselves. But India is very slow in that part. Even though we have technological, look, we are sending satellites for other countries. That's the technology we have, right? And the TP knows what is going on, right? But in the level of the humanity, we are still in low. I was talking to one guy yesterday. He's born in Kashmir and he went to Indian consulate to get a visa, they won't give it. What is this? He have freedom to come there. If he is talking against the government, that's a different story. But he have freedom. We are wasting our money for a state. We know a lot of issues are there, and a lot of Hindus ran away from there because of the political and religious troubles. Yeah, I know Hindus did some wrong thing to Muslims, Muslims doing wrong things to the Hindus. That happened wherever majorities rule, they may do. Even minority, when they have power, they do that too. Like in Kerala, a lot of people are questioning about it. And look at the stories, they have the majority and they do the business. When you bring the business in spirituality, that is a problem. That's why Jesus throw all the business items in the temple. A temple is supposed to go and pray. It's a community-oriented place, not for a business. That we had to differentiate. There is, see how the politics came in the Ayyappa temple. They tried to make politics nothing to do with the temple. Temple has to be a temple. You know, government made a law for ladies to go to the temple. They have freedom to go. If they have a menstruation period, and if they have a rule in the temple, why they had to go at that time? Why they want to fight for it? You sit at your home and pray to the God. God will listen. You don't have to go to a temple or a church to go to listen. God will listen.
Other temples alone. That's it.
Other religious people also should practice a way. So that way, I hope government will bring a common law for all the people in India. It should be a one law for everybody. I know in the beginning we need like different laws because of the new country. You know, when we had the partition and different things going on. Okay, so like a reservation for certain groups. You know, to bring them up. Once they are in the position, we had to focus on the income-based reservation. They already have millions of rupees in their account. Still, they want to get a reservation. That's not correct. That's a part I like about New York. They look what is your income, what is your background, and they go according to that. If I apply for my driving license or a green card, they give me a time period. There's a fees. You pay. And they say, oh, within 1 month you get your record, or your card. Within 3rd week you'll get. Can you do that in India? I had to call an officer and get my paper done. Otherwise nothing will happen. I had to give the money. That is not correct. 75 years we got the freedom. Why we cannot change it? That is totally correct. So I hope our government will make a movement instead of only supporting the wealthy people, take care of every single citizen as equal. That we had to work on.
Yes.
Otherwise, that is not a leadership. That's a bureaucracy. We don't want that. India is a democratic country. It should be a democratic country. And all the religious people should have the freedom to practice whatever they want. But do not allow them to step on somebody's head and insult other countries, other cultures. That is not correct.
Agree.
I
Thanks
never
for your nice
conversion. But if somebody don't know something, we can teach. If they want to convert, their choice. Fine. It's not about the religion. People should learn about the spirituality more than religion. That's the thing we have to focus on.
So
That is actually Indian culture.
I keep remembering Yeti had Joseph on the head side and Shaukat on the leg side.
Correct.
Nitya Chaitanya Yeti at the deathbed, he had one Muslim and Christian, nobody else. And both of them know Upanishad more than most of the other people around him. Right. They are all Paribrajakas. They keep traveling. Joseph keep traveling from Kerala to Himalaya and back. That is his 1 year, 2 times. That's what he does even today.
Correct.
I don't think any other Hindu monk does that ritualistically every year.
Right.
So these are all, we have to not categorize them by what their parents' mistake or probably what has happened to them some time back. Take them today, but give them an equal chance. That's only what is interfaith means. Okay.
At least these needs should be given to people.
Yeah.
Government
But then we have to clean our house first. If our house is not clean, we cannot tell somebody else entering with a dirty footwear. And we say that he entered with a dirty footwear. But already your house is much worse than some other place. What can be done?
When you look at the past, you see, even in Kerala, these Hindu Brahmins used to boil the lead and pour it to poor people's ears because they are listening to Sanskrit. That's the way it was. So that's the time other religious people came and they see the freedom and they convert. So why we are giving that chance? Because we mistreat our people. Otherwise, Christianity won't grow in India. They are the oldest Christian in India than America or Europe. Because we are ready to accept. We have the nature, And majority of the churches made by Hindus. Kings gave, even church in my hometown, the land given by the Hindus, and the king gave all the money to make the building. The architects, according to the Vastu and everything.
And even today, in the northeast situations, the tribals were all suffering there. Though traditionally they may be Hindus, but they are not being taken care of the way they have to be. So that is why you see most of the Christians conversion happens in the northeast. So I am sure if you don't take care of our house, our family, they always have a compassion to somebody else, their friends who are suffering. That is what is essentially to be taken care of. Yeah. Maybe anybody else who have got any points or questions, you are welcome. Any more questions? So as you have two parts, one is interfaith and another one is yoga. Is it that we have diluted the traditional yoga and then we ourselves polluted? We ourselves started sending people to, everybody started business like Bikram or maybe hot yoga. All that was mostly started by Indians themselves in Europe and then Western countries, right? Dilip ji, how do you look at, how do you revive this to make people understand what is that real yoga is? Second, similarly Ayurveda. We started, there is a Arishtam called Viplava Arishtam because the dilution was given, the alcoholic content in some of the medicines were liberal. People started making that as alcohol and then selling, right?
Right.
These are all, what is it not that as the religion happened, it is not that we have also polluted ourselves, the Ayurveda, we also polluted our yoga. Is it because of the poverty, the survival, we are not rich, we adhere to a short-term benefit and then we are actually making our culture, making our system so low? Is it because of the poverty and the population?
And so when money involved, everything will happen like this. And I believe in that traditional style because that is more family oriented, community oriented, spiritually oriented training programs. And we have to make sure gurus are not supposed to abuse students. That happens so many times. And people get a negativity, oh, we don't want the guru system, we don't have a business style and make money out of it. And the patency and all that stuff come. The arrogance is also there. And in that sense, we Indians allow Western people to pollute the system, or we Indians also pollute the system. That happens. That's one of the bad remarks about International Day of Yoga. It became a big thing and people don't know how to handle it. And people can do whatever they want. That's the way it happened. So that's part we made the value of community movement stronger in the ancient style. And definitely we had to adapt the way of treatments, yoga, chikitsa and all the stuff. That's a more modern style with medical doctors. So that part we had to consider. What is the current situation? How much we understand, Indians understand, that will be different than the Americans or European or South Americans. Their understanding abilities are different. And some people may be more open. We cannot count one or two people are open and everybody is open. We cannot count that part. And they cannot change very fast. So we had to allow them go in a slow process. So this varies place to place, time to time. That's the way it is. And there's a lot to think about and work on it. And sometimes people won't listen to us, There's a limit. The only thing we can give teachings to people, if they practice, if they can have respect and love, they will practice. That's the way it is. Because I never run behind the money for the organization. We make it as a community-oriented event. And we made the bylaws according to that. Otherwise, I make a Guru Dilip Ji's Yoga Center. I can make tons of money. I can give certification at least $1 million. Yeah, I didn't do that.
No, Bhuva was also like that, right? He never collected money for any of his classes. He kept only a bowl. If somebody puts money, it's good. Otherwise, yeah. But today it has become studios, it has become business, it has become first pay the money and then look at what happens inside as a trial and then pay money and then get it. Many people are exploiting. As you said, the hot yoga and all is a place of enjoyment than a spiritual center.
Right. But that's the thing they want.
Is it not our punishment system? Again, we have to connect to politics and then making money and all that.
No, only way I understood, when we have person to person, that's a Guru Shishya relationship, then they will adapt. Otherwise, they won't. So that's a long process in the yogic field. So we had to continue that work and educate people. That's the only way. Otherwise, we cannot fight for the political people or religious people. They are in upper hand. 99% of the people are like that. It's very hard to fight for. Whatever we go, we do the work, we focus on it. That's only it. Maybe in the future, after the second time, sometimes you go, he's doing a good job. Then they call someone for an award, That way sometimes they think.
But how do we understand? See, I make a good soap, but maybe somebody is making a duplicate one with a very good cover, and he is selling much better than me. So definitely, if I don't try to put some cover and then try to sell, I will not even get a normal market. So do we have some procedure? See, for example, internationally like Ayurveda, Yoga, which we think is totally Indian, probably like a real stamp. Earlier Ayurveda anybody could practice, but then we brought it under the government system. But then I don't know whether that government BAMS is equivalent to the traditional Ayurveda. Similarly, the yoga acharyas who are really doing yoga, probably now we have got a yoga MA, but they are only teachers, but they don't even practice themselves. So is it that the certification under government is to be believed, or is it that we need like chartered accountants have got a system in which it is nothing to do with the government? It's an independent association which certifies people, they are good for certifying. It is not a government system at all, but even government recognized them and they are also auditing with the help of the private. Is it not that we need a forum where we need to have different structure in different state, district level, where under their certification only, maybe wellness center, maybe the counseling center, maybe the yoga center, maybe the Ayurveda. Everything need to be understood not centrally, but a structure has to be made under the leadership of these people. Is it not the time for us to move such a great initiative?
Yeah, I'll go to that. We used to have International Yoga, one of the association, and I was in charge of that in North America and USA and the UN. Then I started put the paper with the DPI at the UN. Then I found there's corruption going on, and the leader is raping girls. Immediately, I pull out the paperwork with the UN. I don't want to support that. Then I am seeing one of the yoga alliance in America, and they collect membership and all this stuff. But I didn't see that much work for the community. They focus on the membership and accreditation. And legally, they are not a body to give accreditation from the government. And now we have association, different types of association in Europe, South America, and even in India, we have yoga association. And they cannot function according to the Western style. And Westerners are not going to accommodate with their style. And that's what I'm working on this, how we can bring people together and with the UN. That's what I'm looking for. And definitely we need an independent body than a government. So UN has more open-minded people and ideas and laws. So it's like a gender equality. If you talk that in India, forget. You cannot get 10 speakers, female speakers for 50 people's event. I asked my friends, we have like 250 speakers in my yoga day event, 30 days event. I got only 2 ladies from India. What is this? We don't have any educated people, smart people, ladies in India. I brought so many of them from other countries. First of all, they want to stop ladies to come forward. That's not good. Let them develop, educate themselves, be part of the community. We don't want to suppress them, So that mentality has to be changed. I clearly tell everybody we need minimum 50-50. Sometimes I put 60%. Sometimes very hard to get, So one event I get less people, I put it in more in the next event. I put extra effort in that area. Sometimes one lady won't like another lady. Don't bring that lady to the event, I won't come. That's also happening. That's also not good.
Dilip ji, we have more ladies today than gents in this group.
I'm happy for it. So this is more than a male or female, the value to respect. That is it, and gender equality. We don't want to stand for feminists, and fight for it. In America, all the ladies want to fight for it. That's not our job. We have to stand for our rights. That's a proper way to influence. Stand for our rights. Today, one of my friends called, husband beat her, and he cannot hear. He won't give any money, and the trial is going on last 2 days, and even lawyer is supporting the other party. So I said, we'll just tell the truth in the court. Do not lie in the court. You stand for your rights. If court is not giving you the fair assessment, you go to the next court. Never give up. Don't care of your husband's family or anything. If you don't have money, you say, I don't have money. Tell the truth. And I know judges will listen, I didn't ask her, you just cry, get the support from the judge. No. You don't need any of this stuff. When judges are looking all the facts, they know how to handle the case. That's the way they are very smart. I handle so many cases here.
Yeah, we have Vignesh here, Shailaja Menon is here, Anirudh, Seema Nair, Nilam, Professor. Yeah, Shailaja, please. Unmute yourself.
So, namaste to Dr. TPS sir and Guruji. So my question is really towards your interfaith. Like you have so much exposure to talking to people from different religions, and it was very interesting listening to your background, that you yourself came from parents of different religions, and you had so much exposure to interfaith growing up. So what are the commonalities that you understood from talking to people across the faith? Because usually people get to tend lock in to their own faith and to their own religion, and nobody really makes the effort. Like, it's not taught in schools, like Dr. K. Pierce was saying. So nobody really knows very much about other religions, but you have had this exposure of talking to people across the board. So what do you think you can share with us that we can understand as a commonality between all of these different religions?
Yeah, but my experience, sorry. In India, I had really hard time when I started the interfaith gatherings. When I go to church, they say, "Oh, you teach yoga? I don't want to come to your event." Frankly, they say, next year I'll go, ask the same person, "Can you come to my event?" I'm not coming. Third year I go again. I said, "Okay, maybe." Next year I go and they come. So my policy is never give up. But I never argue, I never show a angry face, "Oh, they didn't give him a respect." Never. So for me, some countries very easy to handle it. Even at the UN, most of the people come there and they don't know about Hinduism or Buddhism or Jainism. They know about Christianity, they know Islam, because majority of the countries are from Christian community or Muslim community. And only one country, that is Israel, they have the Jewish group. Because of New York, people know more Judaism. But they are very poor in Hinduism. And Buddhism, they know because Dalai Lama always come to New York, right? And when we have a religious meeting, the three religious groups will come together. That is Christian, Muslim, and Jewish. And we are neglected. That's the part I am entering. Swami Goa is there, and then he's the elder, so they give little respect. Then I am coming in. And even one monk from Hindu group tried to avoid me because I'm young. He have a fear because I'm more talented in different areas. Is he coming to overtake me? That's the way it is. So I worked with him. It took some years. And slowly I entered the group. So they tried to avoid me in every single, even yoga groups. But I never give up. I accommodate them in my events. I go them. If they want something, I'll do it. Leave it. And this is a time-taking schedule, and I had to work for it. You have to have a real patience, and the insult when you work with the interfaith group, it's very hard. We never know how they insult in different ways. I take it as a blessing. It's a learning process me, and I move forward. I never give up. So now I'm a pioneer in that field. Proudly I say that. Around the globe, people call me for that, and even for the yoga. I added interfaith in my yoga events. I remember once I asked Bishop, "Can you come to my event and inaugurate the event?" He said, "No, we don't support this type of events." And the Patriarch came to Kerala. I talked with him. So I was the first guest got to see him in the event. So the head of the Catholic Church is my close friend. He said, "You come, you'll meet Patriarch. Patriarch Saka." He passed away. Then I went there, and all the bishops are waiting to see him, and they're thinking, why this guy is going before us? We are the bishops from the same church under Patriarch, and this guy from another religion coming and meeting him first. And the Patriarch used to live in New York, so we had that dialogue, and he said, "What do you do?" He said, "Teach yoga and interfaith." And I said, "Yoga is good." And all the bishops gave me, he said, "He's doing a good job, support him." He just praised my work. Immediately the bishop don't want to come to my event. I said, can you come to my seminary and teach a class? How many days you are in Kerala? I said, I have 7 days more, so I can come after 2 days. So I went there. One of my cousins' son also studying in that seminary. And I had 3 hours with him. And this slow process, this change now, I have more than 600 bishops in my team around the globe. You know, even we made a yoga event in Egypt. That's the first time we did. It was a Muslim country. It was very hard to put up. We made it. And only 2 countries opposed this resolution for International Day of Yoga. And in those countries, we have our teachers now. So we incorporate all the groups, cultures, and we have musicians, dancers. If you don't believe in religion, fine, still you can come and be a human being. So I have atheists in my group. I never think they are from this religion or this culture, they are dark or white. We never think any of this stuff. Even though they don't know how to speak English, fine. If somebody coming with a new language they don't know, I give them more credit. I remember when I came to New York, my accent is so thick. People used to make fun of me. So I tell them, you have to give me extra credit. I am speaking your language. Can you speak in my language? No, you lost. I'm number 1. This is what I thought. So people come with even Indians came from India, living in America. They act. I'm American. They act like that. Either you sit with your ego. Don't bring that here. I just say on the face. I don't want to wait for another turn. I don't want to think up and keep it in my mind. Right away, I say, well, this is also.
Yeah, Nila have some question. Nila, you could ask. You don't have to ask me. You can unmute and ask him.
Sir, thank you for this beautiful session, sir. Thank you, Dr. TPS, sir, and thank you, Dilip, sir. Sir, I have a question. What creates ego, sir? What is the reason for ego?
Ego is an inborn item. It's very hard to get rid of it. A lot of time people talk about we get rid of ego. This and I say, I have ego, that is my ego. Because if we don't have ego, we don't have the individuality. I am this, I am Guru Dilip, I learned this, fine. I have to adapt humility with this ego, so that way I behave properly. I'm not bringing my ego to suppress somebody. Ego is part of our life. Ego will come and go. A lot of time even negativity will come to our mind. And let it come and go. We don't have to keep it there. That's a problem. We don't have to keep it. Let it come and go. That's a part of it. Even gods and goddesses had egos, right? When you look at the Ramayana and Mahabharata, because of all the egos, all the fight happened. So we also have this problem. The only thing you have to remember, our life is precious on this earth. From the first inhalation to the last exhalation, that's a beautiful life our parents gave. Because of the universe, parents are the mediums. The universe gave us the life. We are made of the universe, 5 elements. We are the universe. When we have that awareness, we are not going to bring your ego to somebody's head. So we have a short life. Be a celebrative for our life. I always tell my friends, celebrate our existence. We don't know we are going to see tomorrow. That's no guarantee. Today, tomorrow, there's no guarantee. So we have to appreciate the life. Then everything will be important. Ego is not important.
The other day we had a good dialogue. Remember, Dilipji, I was telling, I am Brahmasri KPC Anujan Bhattadaripad's disciple. I am Himalayan tradition. These are all our ego.
It is it.
So when we say, I know Dilipji, that's an ego. Correct? I studied in so and so university is an ego. Everything is an ego. But in Sanskrit, we have got 2 words. One is ahankaram and the another one is ahanta. Ahamkaram is know what is your content inside you. That is not bad ego. That is not false ego. That is ego. In English we can say false ego and good ego. Ahankaram is good ego. False ego is ahanda. What I don't have if I speak. See, when Nila is asking a question, that means somebody has to give an answer. He should have the ego that he knows that. If I don't have the ego that I know this, I will tell you I don't know.
Correct.
When I say I know, that I know is an ego. If a Swami says that I don't have ego, that itself is an ego. We were discussing the other day, if somebody says I don't want anything, ask him to keep quiet and sit at home. Why are you speaking on the public performance? Why are you coming for webinar? Why are you talking to somebody? See, my guru was mentioning, he keeps counting people, no? Every Swamiji keeps counting how many people are with me. And it's like a political party who is pulling crowds. I'll tell you, there is great so-called religious international figure. In Hyderabad, when they come, from villages people are pulled. Sari is given, liquor is given, biryani is given, and they don't know who is this buffalo coming and talking in the stage. But they all are made to sit there and picture is taken. So these are all power show, and that picture will be used for making money somewhere else. Actually, that is false ego. Correct.
I'll tell you an example. Like last year, one of the NGO groups from the UN, they made 1 million people's webinar program, on Zoom. And we have 7 religious leaders to water ceremony. We pour water in one pot. It's like a spiritual ceremony. And they called me a few days before, and I don't know what is going to happen. And they recorded everything, pre-recorded events. And I don't know where they are going to use it. I don't have any idea. And the leader asked me, "Where is your temple?" I said, "You were in my temple." "Where is that? I never remember. I didn't come to your temple." I said, "You are in my temple. Still you are in my temple." And he's just looking at me. I said, "Look, my heart is my temple. I don't need a building to create a spiritual." And he's just thinking. He's just looking how much money I have. That's the part he's looking. I gave him a strike. Then he contacted me in the later part. I said, "Look, you may have millions of dollars in your hand, but you don't have the humility, the value. So that is your ego. I talk a person-to-person connection. That is a love. I talk with you. And you had difficulty to acknowledge me from a Hindu religion. That's why you ask all of these questions. That was correct. And people give me so many titles and awards, and sometimes we use it, sometimes we won't use it. Sometimes people say bad words to it, and I take it as my credit. That is our karma supposed to happen. You learn from it. That's the way it is.
Even when Lord Krishna got the curse from Gandhari, he was smiling and say, "Yeah, it's not what I do or it's not what you do. It's all what is that has to happen will happen. That's it." See, as Dilip ji said, Agnir Devo Dujadinam Muninam Hrididevatam. For a person who has left everything and living for the society, his Hridayam is the temple. His Hridayam is the house where the God itself is residing. The self becomes equal to Guru, Guru becomes equal to God. So the self becomes God. Mathematics principle, A implies B, B implies C, A implies C, right? So, Agnir Devo Dujadina. The ritualistic practice believe that, light is the God. For a Rishi or a Muni or a social servant, the Hridayam is the God. Vigraham Sulpa Buddhinam. Where you are only half brain, you think that, temple means there has to be a building, there has to be a priest, there has to be a statue, right? Otherwise temple doesn't. But the temple is inside you. Then the last one is Vigraham Sulpa Buddhinam Sarvatra Vidhidatmanam. When you realize it is the same energy inside me that dwells in Nila, I also say namaskaram to you. You understood? So, Shankaracharya says, I am only the sparks in the fire. And if all of us meet together, that becomes the biggest fire.
So better to be a drop of water. Mine's H2O. A drop of H2O. It should be a pure two molecules of hydrogen and one molecule of oxygen. Otherwise, it will call liquid. Don't be a liquid. A spiritual being should be a real water. Only water can purify our body. Anything can clean by water. We put a lot of soap and still we have to use water to clean that soap, right? So be the water. In a purity within you, that will make the difference. All these gadgets to show off. See, I have this show. I'm a religious person. These are dogma. The real sense, the love, unconditional love, flowing from universe to you, you to universe, around you. That's a important thing. Any religious practice. Yogi is not supposed to practice in a religious dogma. I remember when I had an argument with the Swami Prabhupada. He won't allow anybody to touch him. So I asked everybody to touch him. And he was looking at me and he was so angry. I said, look, you are a yogi, right? Why you are so proud of your religious practices? You should be beyond all of this, right? I like you to remove your thread. After 1 month, he removed. Thread is a dogmatic step. I'm proud, I'm a Brahmin descendant. Okay, you are proud, you are practicing your Brahminic lifestyle. That's fine. But you cannot step on other people's life with I am something. That's not good. I questioned him, but he understood why I asked these questions. Then he removed it, and everybody wondering what happened, and people got so angry towards me. I said, yogis are universal. Be a universal being. But he did. The last part of his life he did.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else want to ask? Yeah. Vignesh. Yeah.
Namaskaram, TPS sir. Namaskaram, Guruji. Sir, you have so many experience in so many countries. I just want to say what is the message that you want to convey to the youth of India?
So I always say easy way to live on this earth, appreciate every single being around you instead of complaining. Especially parents. Even sometimes they scold us. Maybe they don't know the truth. They may scold us without our mistake. A lot of them happen. And even I remember once I went to mathematics class. My bus was in trouble. I had to walk. So I reached home 1 hour late. When I came home, I got a slap on my both cheek from my mother. I didn't answer anything. I understood she was in high stress. She gave me a slap. It's not my mistake. I can complain. I didn't do it. I kept quiet. Next day, I explained to her. If I say things, she's not going to take it. I use my brain. I don't want to answer that. Keep it for later. So same thing we had to apply in our life, especially couples. When husband is angry, wife should be keep quiet. If wife is angry, husband should keep quiet. Don't talk same time. Just settle down first and have a chai and discuss. A healthy discussion is needed in every single family. Same in any relationship. That's another thing. And the way we born on this earth, maybe because of our karma, whatever it is, that's why I said appreciate. and remember our duty to serve around us, serve every single being without any, I won't say expectation, that's also serving a expectation. Just simply serve. Everything will fall in order. That's the way it is. I don't think what will happen tomorrow. Even I won't check my schedule until the morning. I'll check it. What is it? I just go with that day. And if I'm with the people, I spend entire mind in with people. Just focus on the present. Past is good to learn things. What mistake we did. Future to have plans. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it won't happen. But present is valuable. Be present every single moment. We don't know, our nose will stop after 1 hour. There's no guarantee. So be present and focus on, Swami Bu used to say, begin the day with love, spend the day with love, fill the day with love, end the day with love. That's the way to go on. When you remember this wording, you won't fight for any god or goddesses. We spend most of our time to fight for religion or politics, especially in India. That has to be changed. You can fight for your rights. You know, to see the way our government locked down all part of India, and they didn't think about how people survive day to day. Do they give 1 month facilities to people, food and other items to give people and shut down? They didn't do that. This is not a leadership. A leader should be a servant. They are elected to serve the community. Including President of India is a servant. They should learn how to serve it. If they don't know how to serve it, resign, go home. Doesn't matter which party. You know. So we had to create a community with the leadership, with the values. That's the part we have to look for. For my youth, I'll say, be fruitful. You use your internal energy to use for your development and the community development in a proper place. We are precious for every being, are precious on this earth. So be a precious diamond, like a rock, raw diamond. You take it, you cut it, polish, and it became a diamond. Be the diamond. We know one day even we lose that diamond because we lose our life. Within that period, we have to be a real shining diamond. Don't lose your light. Be the light for the people.
That's a beautiful message.
Thank you, Guruji.
That's a beautiful message.
Thank you, Dr. T. Yes, sir, for introducing every day some great souls.
More important is the messages which are channeled through generations. That is what is being taught. We are only becoming the tools or the media to take this. We are only trustees. We don't own anything. Right?
Yeah.
So it's more important not to be a smoke, but to be a fire is what we have to. We have to keep that fire on. Nimisham Jolitam Sreyam Nadu Dhumayitum Chiram. When you live, you have a life. Show that you are living. Until the last breath, we have that ability to live. As Mahatma Gandhi said, love anybody who is in front of you as if you are going to die or they are going to die next moment, so that you will only serve them. You don't scold them. But learn like a person as if you are going to live in this world for longer. So every one of us have got some message to take to somebody else, and that is what we are trying to do. Right? So great. We had a good deliberation, lot of messages.
Can
Yeah.
I
Vaishnavi,
ask
yeah,
a
fast.
question?
Yes.
Namaste Guruji, Vaishnavi. I'm from Hyderabad. what are your views about interfaith marriage? I mean, if they're married to somebody from another faith, and then we can't, according to our parents, we won't be able to continue our, suppose in Hinduism we can do our dharma completely or something like that. So
The word marriage itself is a political dogma. If two people like each other, they can have copulation. And they have a child that is the Brahmane. Okay. That's a fruitful child. And all other are from the customs. And I always acknowledge those who come from different cultures and countries have marriage, and I have a license to do the marriage, to give the certificate. Okay. And I never promote those things because a lot of time it's very hard to handle when it comes to the child's life. Sometimes it will come, oh, what last name, what religion child should practice, and they'll have a conflict. Or parents will enter in that part. Tell your husband do this, tell your wife do this, this will happen. Or relatives, other people will enter in that. Unless they both have a higher consciousness to handle the situation, that's fine. And God never created any religion. God came with the spirituality. We all born with the spirituality. Remember that. Interfaith only making people come together, nothing else. Interfaith is not a religion. Faith is the major thing we have to focus on. Faith, we born on this earth, that's a faith. We have a belief of God, that's a faith. Because when you have a faith, you get rid of a lot of stress. Otherwise, what will happen? That thought, oh, God will take care of me. Like a child, mother will take care of me. I have a faith. That feeling, So if two people like each other, actually I won't say like, love deeply. Or she is beautiful, or she has money, or he has money, or they have wealth, power, and you have this idea and marry, it will flow. And life is not easy, full of thorns. If you are ready to walk on the thorns, no problem. So you have to expect 100% trouble in your life, then marry, no problem.
Guruji, my Guru KPC kept telling, marriage is like the 7 strings which are tied properly. If one of the string is loose, that need not be religion. It can be religion, it can be politics. Assume 2 different party leaders, children start marrying, finished, the fight will be at home. It could be economy. If your economic status is entirely different, there can be a lot of problems. We see most of the problems because of financial conditions, culture, different language. See, you may be able to communicate to your spouse, but marriage is, in India, marriage is not individual to individual. It is family to family, society to society. So you may not be able to communicate with the other relatives. There will be a lot of misinterpretations. The relationship will fail. There are different problems. So that is why we keep saying you have to see how much harmony you have. If the more the strings are balanced, you have a better music. Otherwise also you can have music, but that will be a rhythmless music. That's it.
So like when people meet marriage, the children, offspring will be really talented. That I notice around the globe.
If
and they have more openness. When you travel around the globe,
if they survive to swim across, otherwise they could be in the deep well.
correct. And these are interesting stuff, but I'll always promote interfaith marriages. That is necessary. And also they can learn each other, It's a learning process. Life is a learning process. Otherwise you sit in a frog in a well. You have to be a fly.
Yeah. If any more questions, any comments from anybody? Otherwise we will close it. We crossed 9 o'clock. Good enough? So, thank you. Inshallah, God bless you. ഈശ്വരാനുഗ്രഹം ഉണ്ടാവട്ടെ എല്ലാവർക്കും. നമസ്കാരം. So, see you tomorrow. We have got another great day to come tomorrow. We have got 2 people who are going to speak. Dr. Shuchita, Dr. Shailaja is also going to be there. And we have 2 days reserved for students who are listening. And youngsters, they will have a group of people who are going to speak. Maybe the most important part could be after the Independence Day celebrations are over. We feel that the end of August we will have some discussions. As today we have come up with some idea. When some ideas come, we keep elaborating and thinking about it. So we'll have to work out some framework where we can think about action items. There are few action items which came or which aroused out of that. So we have a great long way to go with those action items in place. So namaskaram and thank you all of you. See you tomorrow at 7:15 again. Thank you. നന്നായിരുന്നു ദിലീപ് ജി.